Okay, so I've been thinking about this one for a while now. Since I guess the 5th, really. 5 days. I've been mulling it over in my head, how exactly I would like to phrase my argument, my counter argument, to a couple of people that left comments. How do I want to put this? Bringing up arguments in favor of segregation. I'll put it like that. The first one I read was that essentially what the comment boiled down to was that the whole white people being around white people, more, that whole thing that we're getting now is protectionism, right? It's one person alone is weak and capable of being taken advantage of or whatever. A group of people together, that's protection. As a mass, protection in numbers, right? And I can understand that philosophy, but you find that philosophy being employed in another very specific area of life. That area being gangs. Gangs have that a lot. You don't have a really good, great, stable home life, so you join a gang so that you can then have, not really stable, but you have at least a network of support. You have a family of sorts. So I can understand that, but I don't think that is necessary as such. I mean, I live in a suburb. I live in I wouldn't say it's well-off area, but it's upper middle, right? And we are very integrated. I've never felt unsafe around any of the black people that I know. But I don't generally feel unsafe around people at all. I know how to take care of myself. So, but I've never lived in an area that was like a bad area that had problems with gangs and stuff like that. But, if you live in an area where there's gangs and you make your own gang, that doesn't, that doesn't solve any problems. It's not really protection when your grouping up is going to piss off people who are then going to want to come after you. I don't see where the protection is exactly in that. But, I can understand the idea of it. It just doesn't really get employed exactly the way it's portrayed. That's my opinion on it. That's just kind of the way I felt about that comment, the protectionism thing. I'm like, it tends to have the opposite action or reaction. And then the other person left a message saying that they burnt the cross. This is going back to the story about my mother told me about somebody, group of people I imagine, had burnt a cross on a black family's front lawn in my neighborhood back in the day. So the reason why they did that was to scare them away. Fair enough. Because they didn't want black people moving into the neighborhood, because then all the whites would move out and then the neighborhood would go to shit. Now, I think that's kind of, forgive me, but that's kind of being blissfully ignorant of all of the things involved there. You go, black people move in, white people move out, black area now bad because black people. Right? That's very simplistic. That's a very simplistic jump. Let's really think about it. When anybody buys a house for the first time or is moving from one city to another or whatever, they're not generally doing it in the hopes that the neighborhood they're moving to is going to be bad. Sometimes people move into bad neighborhoods because they have no other choice and they just kind of go, well, And they don't like it, they're not happy about it, but it's their lot in life. It's what they have to deal with. Most people move into, most black people move into the nice white neighborhoods because they want to get away from the, nasty gang-riddled areas. Right? So they're not looking to make shit bad, generally. Generally. It's my thought generally. Especially nowadays, in the modern day, like we've come so far, that's generally what you find when black families start moving into white neighborhoods is because they want to get out of the black neighborhoods because they're gang-riddled and violent and dangerous. So, but it isn't because black people, it's because gangs. Right? Yeah, black people are in the gangs, but you know what? Black people are also fleeing gang neighborhoods, so they must not like it to some degree. But, alright, let's say black family moves into, middle income, middle upper income white neighborhood, right? Now they're moving in, most likely in debt of some sort or another, because you're buying a house, that automatically puts you in quite an amount of a debt. Not many people can just pay cash for their house. So already they're coming in with now a huge amount of debt, right? So they have to get a job, most likely, unless they've already gotten that sort of thing worked out. And, they need to fit themselves into the community, right? Now, if they're stopped in this in every way, well, that's going to breed a little bit of resentment, I imagine. And if all of these stable, established people begin to move out of the area, like the people who have also probably don't own their home, but nevertheless, they have jobs, they have careers, they pay taxes into that neighborhood, and some of them are going to be business owners, right? Small business owners and things of that nature. They're going to employ other people, that kind of shit. If they pick up and move, that takes a lot of tax revenue out of the community. The community is going to suffer from that. It isn't going to be because black people just all of a sudden appeared. It's going to be because no fucking tax revenue. So things are going to begin to go to shit. And if that doesn't get made up by more people establishing themselves and coming into the community is going to suffer. And then more people who are reasonably well off or whatever are going to want to move out. It's going to make property prices drop, which is going to make shit cheaper to live, which is going to mean more people that don't have a lot of money are going to be replacing the people who have money, right? So now they're not going to be getting as much tax revenue because there's not going to be that many people having the higher end jobs that are paying more money in taxes because they make more money. Tax revenues are going to come back a little bit, but nowhere near to the same level, so shit's going to still get bad, right? So the racism isn't really fixing anything. You're creating the problem. If all the white people move, all the people that live in the neighborhood move, all of that is going to leave. Businesses are going to go because now the area is becoming a shit area. And they're not going to be making as much money anymore. So businesses are going to leave, which is going to dry up opportunities, which is going to crash that community. All because of racism, not black people. The town that I grew up in, very, very white. I would tell you the Caucasian name of it, but I'm not going to tell you the neighborhood I fucking live in. But yeah, it was definitely we had the rap, right? Years have gone by, 40 of them since I started living in this neighborhood, and now we are pretty fully integrated. Black people all over the place in this neighborhood. They're everywhere, crawling out of the fucking walls, right? And this neighborhood has changed zero. We've got a lot more businesses. They built up this whole mall area, right? And there's a lot more business being done, a lot more tax revenue coming in. A lot of people have started moving to this neighborhood because things are going so well. Shit tons of black people moving in here didn't change anything. Did make things worse? And things have been getting a lot better. So I fail to see, from my own experience at least, what the problem with the black people moving in was. The issue was, a lot of white people didn't move out. They saw more and more black people and went, oh, more black people, whatever. And didn't care. So they didn't move. They didn't take all of their shit ton of revenue away and replace that with new people moving into the area that are now way in debt. Like, that didn't happen. So we have prospered. I'm not going to say that we prospered because black people came into the area. I will say that we prospered because more people came into the area. But, like, I'm not going to be able to afford to live in my neighborhood anymore very soon here. So, you know? And every time I meet new people from out of my town, and I tell them where I live, I've had a lot of people, I can't say every time, but I've had a lot of people go, wow, I heard it's getting pretty dark down there. And I go, I mean, yeah, a lot of black people. But nothing's changed. You know, like, it's still the same fucking neighborhood I grew up in. There's just a lot more people here. And a lot more shit to do. So, like, we have our own movie theater now. Right? Like, that's pretty cool. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say about it. Like, the way that my brain rationalizes it when I hear these rote arguments, black people move in, white people move out, area goes to shit, black people's fault. I think a little bit deeper than that. I'm sorry, I just do. And I start looking at the reasons why, and I start trying to figure out why. Why is it? Like, I don't need somebody to just say, because black people. No, you're telling me why. I want to know why. I don't want you to tell me why. I want to see numbers. I want to think through the reasons. What could possibly happen if all of the people who are established in a neighborhood live out or move out, and a shit ton of people that aren't established in the neighborhood move in? I'm going to guess the neighborhood goes to shit, whether it be white, black, or anything else. Look at California right now. A lot of rich people moving out. A lot of poor people moving in. A lot of homeless people just flocking there to hang out. And it's going to shit. I don't think there's a racial thing that has to go on with that so much as an economic one. Like, I don't know. All I know is I've met a lot of black people. And some of them I kind of look at from time to time, and I want to look at them and go, why are you this way? Like, what is it about you that has just made you this way? Because I don't get it. Like, is it just like a thing? Or, but what, like, but I've met a lot of black people that are just fucking people, man. They're just people. They're quirky like all the rest of us. They want to go to work and do their job and go home and get paid and take care of their families. You know, we just don't live in that time anymore. And we're living in that time less and less. It isn't the days of all black people in this country are just poor because they just got out of slavery. We are so far beyond that now that no. The line is becoming a joke, especially to me. I just, you know, that argument just I would love to have an entire football team move into my neighborhood. I think shit would get really good. I don't care if they're all black. Doesn't make any difference to me. I don't care that they all have guns and most of them are criminals. Doesn't make a difference to me. The tax revenue, that's going to make shit good. So, right? I don't know, man. Like, it just, the shit doesn't wash with me anymore. So, I'm sure I will get a reply on this one, an answer from at least one of the people. But that's pretty much what I have to say. That's my response to a couple of the comments that I got, the arguments that I have now heard, because it's rare when you find somebody these days who's willing to throw out the argument in favor of white supremacy or racism or whatever. It's not all that often you find that. You know it's out there and people talk about it all the time, but it's like, I don't care about like the I don't even fucking know his name, the one dummy that's the big face of it all now. Like, I don't care about listening to that dude, because that dude isn't going to tell me anything. He's going to tell me his propaganda. I could care less about the propaganda. I want to hear the actual arguments, so that I can dissect them and go, does it still make sense to you? Because it doesn't make sense to me. Perhaps my logic works differently. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. I hope everybody's having a good day. Let's have some lively debate. Let's all try and be nice. Remember, we're all part of the Bearing Mafia here. If you can't think of something nice to say the nicest possible thing you can think of. And if that happens to be bad, then so well. Nevertheless, try your hardest.